The Church of St. George at Kurbinovo is one of the most exceptional and inspiring monuments of medieval art in Macedonia and a site of outstanding importance for the cultural history of Europe. Although this small rural church may appear simple and unassuming from the outside, it preserves within its walls a cycle of fresco paintings that rank among the most innovative and emotionally powerful creations of the 12th century. The church was built and decorated in the year 1191, during a period of great artistic vitality in the Byzantine world. At that time, most religious art followed strict visual rules. Figures were often rigid, frontal, and highly symbolic, emphasizing the heavenly and timeless nature of sacred subjects. Kurbinovo, however, represents a remarkable departure from this tradition. As you step inside, you enter a space filled with movement, grace, and emotional intensity. The painters of Kurbinovo developed a new visual language that gives their figures a sense of life and inner presence. Bodies are elongated and elegant, garments flow in rhythmic lines, and gestures are refined and expressive. The result is an atmosphere that feels both spiritual and deeply human. One of the most celebrated images in the church is the Archangel Gabriel from the scene of the Annunciation. This figure has become an icon of medieval art history. Gabriel appears to glide across the wall, his feet barely touching the ground, his robes flowing behind him as if carried by a divine breeze. His posture, gesture, and expression convey urgency, grace, and sacred movement. This sense of dynamic motion was revolutionary for its time and gives the figure a strikingly modern quality. Throughout the church, saints, prophets, and angels are depicted with faces that reveal subtle emotions, compassion, contemplation, solemnity, and spiritual intensity. The painters were clearly interested in portraying not only divine authority, but also human feeling. This emotional sensitivity invites visitors to connect more personally with the sacred figures, transforming the experience from distant observation into intimate encounter. Art historians see in these frescoes an early form of artistic thinking that would later blossom into the Renaissance in Western Europe. Long before the famous Italian masters of the 14th and 15th centuries, the artists of Kurbinovo were already experimenting with natural movement, expressive anatomy, and psychological presence. In this sense, the church stands as a powerful predecessor to the Renaissance, demonstrating that the path toward humanized and emotionally rich art was already being explored in the medieval Balkans. Kurbinovo reminds us that artistic innovation was not limited to great imperial capitals. Here, in a quiet rural setting, painters created works that pushed the boundaries of their tradition. Their achievement reflects the cultural richness of medieval Macedonia, a region shaped by the meeting of Byzantine, Balkan, and Mediterranean worlds. The church is dedicated to St. George, one of the most beloved warrior saints in Christian tradition. His cult was especially strong in this region, symbolizing protection, courage, and faith. The dedication reflects both the spiritual life of the local community and the broader religious culture of the medieval period. As you move through the interior, notice the harmony between architecture and painting. The frescoes are not simply decorations, they transform the walls into a continuous sacred narrative. The building becomes a visual scripture, telling the story of salvation, the lives of saints, and the presence of the heavenly realm. Light, color, and line work together to create an atmosphere of reverence and contemplation. Today, the Church of St. George at Kurbinovo is recognized not only as a national treasure of Macedonia, but also as a monument of European significance. It offers visitors a rare opportunity to witness a turning point in the history of art, when medieval spiritual symbolism began to merge with a new interest in human emotion, movement, and individuality. As you stand here, take time to observe the delicate faces, the flowing drapery, and the graceful gestures. In this small mountain church, you are encountering a quiet revolution in painting, a moment when artists began to look more closely at the human presence within the sacred. Kurbinovo is not only a place of worship, but also a place where the future of European art quietly began to take shape.